All right, here we go. The meat and potatoes of your hockey pool, where you set up your scoring criteria. So, good news, we've actually revamped this page. So, I've inserted this into this tutorial because we've kind of changed things up a little bit. Just the look and feel of it. I feel like this is a little bit more user-friendly. And as you can see, here's all the basic scoring options that you have in a hockey pool. You got your forward, your defenseman, your goalie, and your team. Some people like to use goalies. Some people like to use teams, so it doesn't matter who is in net. You'll get whatever points you've designated. That's really the difference between it. Some people like to be able to pick an actual goalie, but just know that if the backup plays, you're not getting points if he's not in your pool. So some people like to avoid that because there are some NHL teams out there that like to platoon multiple goalies, have one or two goalies that they split games with. So it might be a better idea to use the team option here. But again, up to you, and I just wanted to tell you the difference. Whatever you decide to use here, though, make sure that you put in the points so that it becomes an option for your poolies to make that selection in your hockey pool. So once again, you have all your options here for forward, defense, goalies, team. You can set 1 point for a goal, 1 point for an assist. Make sure you do the same for defense if you'd like. I've picked 1 point for a goalie win and 2 points for a shutout. And again, this is pretty straightforward. And if you go up here and you click on goals, this will take you to even more options. That's right, we've got lots of different options for your hockey pool. And you kind of have to look at these as sort of bonus points. Like, for instance, power play goals. And again, if you hover over each option here, it will tell you how it is scored. So for something like power play goals, just know that this is a bonus point on top of the points you're already giving for goals. So as you saw on the other screen, I had 1 point for a goal. If I were to make power play goals a point, then if they were to score a power play goal, they'd get 1 point for the goal and an additional point for the power play goal. I hope that makes sense. Again, just hover over each one. It explains how it is calculated. So lots of different ideas here. Hat tricks, Gordie Howe hat trick. We've got a lot of different options. And then we can even go one step further. You can even do winners, like who's going to win the President's Trophy. Give people the option of, if one of your players wins the President Trophy, they get 50 points or whatever you want to do. Or if one of your teams wins the Metropolitan Division, then they get points for that. It's up to you. It's very, very deep. Lots of different options. And so that's basically how the scoring settings work. One thing to keep in mind is you also have the drop lowest rule. And again, this used to be, you used to have to scroll way down to find it. Up here, if you click on advanced options, this is where you'll find the drop lowest. And what is the drop lowest, you might ask? Well, the drop lowest is something that you can add to your pool just in case one of your poolies has a serious, they have a player that has a serious injury, or maybe you have one or two players that are just underperforming. They're in and out of the lineup, and it sucks for that poolie because, he thought he picked a pretty good team, but now he's out right away because maybe one or two of his players are just completely underperforming. And you want to keep the pool competitive throughout the season, this might be a good option. Drop lowest 1, drop lowest 2. Maybe I want to do just the drop lowest 1, but I want to make sure that my goalies aren't included in that. So I want to protect my goalies from that drop lowest rule. You want to keep at least a certain amount of players from that rule. It's up to you and how you want to go about this. Here's an important one. Use most goals as a tiebreaker. Recommend clicking on that so you don't have ties in your standings, and it will automatically be a tiebreaker for you, whoever has the most goals. Custom scoring categories. I recommend, before you go into this, make sure that you save your scoring settings. All right, here we go. We're in the roster section of this hockey pool, but I just want you to hit save if you haven't already on all the next steps, because we're going to go back into scoring, and I'm going to show you how to set up a custom scoring position. So let's go back into scoring once we've saved all our necessary steps. The reason why we do that is because anytime we make any changes here in scoring, especially to custom positions, it'll automatically save and it'll kick you out to the next step, like roster, into trading and things like that. So save all those steps, save yourself the hassle, and here is where you can create a custom position. Now you can do it here by just clicking here, or you can go into advanced options and you can say, oh, I want 1, 2, 3, however many custom positions to be created. Let's just stick to 1. Hit save. And then, I don't know, I'll call this custom position Goon. You can name it whatever you want. I'll call it Goon. And I will make penalty minutes. Let's go 0.5. So you get half a point for every penalty minute. I'll make sure that they get goal points for goals and assists like everybody else. And boom, that's the custom position. You can always delete it if you want. Again, you can rename it. I'm going to use that. And what happens is when you go into roster and you go into team editor, you can designate whatever player on anybody's team with this specialty scoring position. And I'll show you how to do that when we get into team editor. But you want to set this up so that your poolies can have that designated, have their player designated for this special scoring position. So hit save. And there you go. That's how you set up a custom scoring position. And now let's move on to roster. All right, I'm going to show you how to assign that custom scoring position to the players on your poolies teams. So in roster, I want you to go and click on Team Editor. And this is really basic. You go to the team, you find the player that your poolie would like to be assigned the special scoring position of Goon. That's the position we created. And you just click on beside the player. And there you go. Ryan Getzlaff, is now considered a Goon. Or at least he'll get the points that you've assigned for that custom position. It's that easy. Hit save when you're done. And there you go. That is how you set up scoring and custom scoring positions on Officepools.com.